Thank you. Jim Hogue, the Iranian nuclear deal gave rise to the hope that it might lead, in addition to its own benefits, to a series of negotiations on other points of conflict in the Middle East. Well, what's happened since the deal in Iran is that the hardliners are really on a rampage and have an election coming up in which they pretty much fixed it in advance. They're not the only ones who aren't in favor of this agreement. In our own country, we have, particularly in the Republican Party, almost every single major candidate saying that they think it's a lousy deal, and one of them at least, and I think more than one, has said the first thing he's going to do in office is to back off of the deal altogether. My question would be, because how vulnerable do you think this deal is to becoming unraveled? And is there something we are not doing that might shore it up a bit?
Well, you're certainly right to point out the battle that wages inside Iran for influence, and I think you can make a case on both sides of the ledger. The hardliners have certainly scored some wins. They operate. They operate separately in many ways, and so often they can make trouble without actually having to win the argument because they control certain of levers of power autonomously. But you also can't gloss over the fact that this deal has been implemented according to schedule, that there have been opportunities for the Iranian political infrastructure to upset it, most significantly the vote in their parliament, and it has passed every test. And so the moment at which this deal, I think, would be legitimately at risk inside Iran has probably passed. That doesn't mean that there's not going to continue to be this battle between the two sides. And I also think with respect to relations with the United States and in the region, you can make a case both ways as well. So they have certainly ratcheted up their operations in some of these proxy wars, but then you have seen, the successful resolution of the prisoner issue, the relatively successful resolution of the detainee issue, which would suggest that the moderates still are able to control some degree of decision making in our country. Listen, I just do not believe that any of these Republican candidates are sincere. I think they are absolutely lying through their teeth when they say that they are going to rip up this agreement when they come to office. None of them will do it because the first thing that their national security advisors tell them is how catastrophic that would be, not just for our policy in the Middle East, but for our policy with all of our other friends that did the deal with us. And Marco Rubio at the top of the list. Marco Rubio knows better. He is not going to rip up this deal when he becomes president, and he knows it.